Take two with Jerry and Debbie getting underway on EWTN Radio for Wednesday, middle of the week in this first week of Advent. Good to have you with us. I'm Jerry Usher along with Debbie Georgiani. And Debbie, Advent means, well, it's the start of a new year for the church liturgically, but we are winding down, of course, the calendar year. And that's something we want to focus on today with our friends.
Less than 4 weeks away and we start a new year in 2018 is history. Do you want it to be history? How was your 2018? That's what we want to reflect back on. And talking about the last 11 months, was it a great year? Are you glad it's almost over? Are there things you would have done differently? Let's look back and let's kind of tap into your life and see what's cooking. I think it's going to be a wonderful conversation, a healthy one. Maybe allow us to prepare for New Year's resolutions, which we all like to do, even though most of them are never fulfilled. But it's all good. You know, it's good to always plan ahead. And Jerry, today's a solemn day. Today's a day of mourning. You know, it's President Bush's funeral, and I know that a lot of folks are glued to the TV set watching all of the ceremony, and it's just absolutely beautiful to see, you know, the send off that we are giving this fine president. And it's a solemn day, but it's also a day to think about, you know, what lies ahead, you know, what is in store for us and how we can plan. So that's the idea, Jerry. We want to look back on, I can't believe this year is almost over. That's the title of this show. So we want to look back on 2018, maybe talk about the highlights, the highs, the lows, everything in between.
Yeah, here's the phone number for you to call. It's toll free. 833. I get these phone numbers mixed up when I'm guest hosting shows and pledge drives and even this show. 833-288-EWTN. 833-288-3986. For every one of us, the year has treated us a little bit differently, and we just want to know, you know, has it been a good one for you? Has it had some challenges? Are you looking forward to turning the calendar over into a brand new year? Maybe you made some major changes, got married, maybe you switched jobs, maybe you moved, maybe you had to lay a loved one to rest this year, and that just changed your life, altered your life completely. Just want to have a conversation about what's going on, because Debbie, there are a lot of people, as always, who listen to the show and other shows who are working or doing things they can't call in, but they listen because they want to pick up and they want to learn and they want to move forward with their lives based on the experiences of those who do call in.
Absolutely. We all learn from each other. Here's the number, 1-833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. Phone lines fill up quickly, so please don't hesitate. This moves very fast, this show, because we take notes and we move on from call to call. We learn about each other's lives, and we grow. We get a little bit closer to God by the end of the hour, and that's an important thing. In case you can hear that little bit of a raspy voice of mine, that's because I'm under the weather. So I'm not going to do too much talking, but a lot of note taking. So that's a good thing. And how are you feeling, Jerry? You look good.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty well today. So far, so good. No flus or colds or sniffles or anything so far this year. But,
cool.
You know, where you and I both live, cold winter night is, about 50 degrees or something like that? So.
Right, and that's pretty cold.
Yeah, but I'm doing pretty well. We just want to have this connection with your listeners. It's a conversation I know I look so forward to, and Debbie, I know you do as well. And it just really is a part of our day where we get to really connect with you as the Take Two family, and we learn a lot. As Debbie said, she takes notes, and we all learn. And like you said, you teach each other, you inspire each other. So let's have another good conversation today.
Well, Michael McCall, our call screener, one of our call screeners, weighed in, and he said, my son Sebastian was born in January of this year, and it changed my life for the better. So yes, Michael McCall has had a great 2018 with his brand new baby boy, Sebastian, who's absolutely adorable. So congratulations again, Michael. You're right. 2018 was great for you. It opened up your whole entire family. I mean, that's amazing. But Jerry, I got to tell you, I'm kind of glad 2018 is going to be over. I'll be honest with you. I've had a lot of lows this year, a lot. It's been a tough year, and I'm looking forward to 2019's, and I'm ready to put 2018 in the notebook and file it away.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on that. This has been a great year in many ways. We had the Stand Tall retreat, another great year of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. But yeah, personally for me, yeah, I've had some bumps in the road as well, some hiccups, and we've shared some of that on the air, both of us, and we just every year is going to be what it is, and the beautiful thing is it doesn't stay the way it is. So if anyone is listening right now and you've had a bit of a rough 2018, we're going to pray for you. You pray for us that as we flip over into a brand new year, that the graces of God will just shower upon all of us, and he'll, first of all, that we'll have just the joy and the peace of knowing who we are as God's children, and just
Right.
making another great year. So that's our hope and our prayer for you.
Okay, so we titled the show, I Cannot Believe This Year is Almost Over. Let's look at the last 11 and a half months, close to that, and how has it been for you? Give us the highlights, the things that you really struggled with maybe this year. Maybe you had some real spiritual growth moments, and that's always a wonderful thing to talk about because we can definitely learn from that. Here's the number, 1-833-288-3986. Remember, if you're just tuning in, especially to our newest Take Two family members from St. Gabriel Radio. If you're just tuning in, this is your show. This is where we give you the microphone and you take it away and tell us about your life, and we learn from you. So if you're listening in the Columbus area and beyond on St. Gabriel Radio, please call in. We're very friendly. You'll speak to Ryan. He'll put you on hold. You get to listen live and you'll jump right into the conversation. It's very interactive and it's a wonderful place to have these great conversations that you can't have, Jerry. We can't have. Wait, can you have these at the workplace? You really can't, right?
Well, I work from home, so yes, I can.
True, true.
Then I'd be talking to myself. But yeah, and there are other ways to get a hold of us too. Social media, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, good day to you. And Grace, Debbie, our friend Grace, posted on Facebook just moments ago. Best beginning of 2018, Stand Tall Retreat. Thank you. And here's to 2019, double exclamation mark. Thank you, Grace, for weighing in on that. We had a great time at that retreat and we're planning, Debbie and I are talking about more of those in 2019. So stay with us for that.
Yeah. They played this little like life skills exercise. It's called like the rose and the thorn. So tell us like the roses of the year for you and maybe the thorns of the year for you. And tell us, what that is. And, we just want to know. But I'll tell you what, a definite highlight, definite rose for me was the Stand Tall retreat. And we're looking forward to planning one for 2019. So make sure you stay close to Take Two so you can hear all about that and sign up quickly. 833-288-EWTN. 833-288-3986. We want to hear about your 2018. If you'll call in, we would love to listen. When we come back, we're going to Claudia and B and the others. So hang on.
Always good to have you with us on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Jam-packed phone lines. You have a lot to say about 2018. Hoping that most of you have had a good year, but some of us are looking forward to kind of flipping that page on the calendar and seeing what January and beyond holds for us. So we're taking your calls on that today. In the meantime, just want to let you know about EWTN Live with Father Mitch Packwoods tonight and every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Father Robert Altier will be his guest. He showcases an in-depth look into the fundamentals of Catholicism through his EWTN series, Beauty, Truth, and Goodness of Our Catholic Faith. So join Father Mitch and Father Robert Altier tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on EWTN Television and most of these EWTN affiliates.
Okay, Jerry, I just received a text from one of my fellow Christian life skillers, if that's a word. They just corrected me a little bit. They said, Debbie, it's actually, you can do the rose and the thorn, which is the rose is your highlights, the highlights of 2018. The thorn is what went wrong during 2018. And then there's the bud. What are you looking forward to? Okay, so there's just a little exercise there that we can add to it. So thank you for that. And I just wanted to make sure we have that in there. So as we go to Claudia, Claudia's in Houston, Texas on Guadalupe Radio Network. She's first up here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Welcome, Claudia.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hi there.
Hello?
Yep, you're on the air. Go right ahead, Claudia.
Okay, hi, good morning. So, I own a business here in Houston, and in 2018, I lost two employees for relocation. There was a divorce in the family, a death in the family. But, I can't think about all the challenges that we had as a family and as a business owner, but more so of all the blessings that we've had through those challenges in 2018. So for me, although it was difficult, the blessings and the family and the community coming together during those challenges is what really I'm holding, close to my heart. Instead of the challenges, were all the blessings during that year.
Wow. Well, Claudia, that is a blessing and a gift in and of itself. That, see, I'm kind of the opposite of you. I'll readily admit here on Global Radio, I tend to look at some of the down things more and focus on those. And friends and family are working on me on that, and I'm working on that in prayer and so forth. It's just so important to have that gratitude, that view of the blessings. I remember there's a song, I think it's by Phillips, Craig, and Dean, I think they're three non-denominational Christian pastors, but they formed this singing group that they put out albums and music, and I think they have a song called "The Blessing in the Thorn," and the talks about the thorn in St. Paul's flesh, and Jesus says, my grace is sufficient for you. So yeah, even in those difficult times, we somehow God is working. As the Bible said, God is working all things to good for those who love Him, and even the challenging times. And Claudia's, I think, got a great perspective and a gifted ability to be able to see that.
Oh yeah, to look at the beauty through things and the blessings and the gratitude. You're absolutely right, and it changes your perspective of things, and you can get through things better. You learn from it, you grow from it, and that's what we're all called to do. Wouldn't you agree with that, Claudia? We're all called to grow. If we stand still, we're actually losing ground. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. My husband and I, looking back, we were talking about it a couple of days ago and said to each other, it was a tough year, but the Lord showed us different ways where we can grow and be better, not just for ourselves, but for our children and the people that we encounter in our journey. Mm-hmm. So it's been a beautiful year for us.
Beautiful. That's great. That is great.
We pray that the coming year will be even more beautiful for you, Claudia. Mm-hmm. So thank you for getting us started on this program. We appreciate that so much. Can't believe the year is almost over. That is our topic today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. What kind of a year has it been for you? You don't need to get all that specific. You can if you want, but just want to kind of, as we all wind this down, we want to come together, have a conversation about how we made it through maybe a tough year, or really rejoicing in the Lord for blessings even amidst tough times sometimes. So you can join us at 833-288 EWTN or 3986.
Jerry, I was excited there for about 10 seconds because I saw a call come in from St. Gabriel Radio. I was so excited. But it just dropped off. So if you're listening, call back. We want the first St. Gabriel Radio listener to call in to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. So please call back. Ryan, if they call back, please get them to the front of the line because we said the first invitation, the first one, we will let them just knock it out of the ballpark. So please do that. Madeline in Coppers Cove, Texas, on Armor of God Catholic Radio. Thank you for waiting and welcome to Take Two.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Well, I would just like to say that I cannot wait for the year to be over with because I had a rough year. I knew about my ex-husband wanted a divorce in 2017, and it kind of prolonged throughout the year, and it just seems like things between our family and he and I just kept getting worse throughout the year. And I'm not going to lie, I don't think if I wasn't mentally prepared for everything that I had to endure this year, I probably wouldn't have followed through with everything. So I'm just grateful because I had the support of my family. My mother lives with me, and my priest was a big help with everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually grateful that, that chapter of my life is over with, and I'm ready to start with my new life with my kids.
Okay, so first off, do you pronounce it Madeline?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first off, getting through this year, I can totally relate because that's how it was for me in 2007. It's the toughest thing in the world. I don't know when anybody ever says that divorce is something easy. It's not. It's painful. It's gut wrenching. It affects everybody. But you get through it. And the one thing that I was going to, just suggest you already said, and that is that you have a priest that is right there with you, walking with you and helping you. I would just take this time. You said you're glad this is over with, that you want to close that chapter. You want to move on with your kids. Also, move on with your spirituality because it's a beautiful time for you to dive into your faith, for you and the children, and really catapult your spiritual growth in the Lord. I can't stress it enough. 2007 was the worst year of my life, but it was the best year of my life spiritually. And so it's really interesting how it all works. And I would just encourage you to do that because the world will be telling you, okay, this is your time, Madeline. Go and do this and do this and do that, and join a club and go dancing and do this. Okay, but it really is a great time for you and the children for your spiritual lives. So I'm sure your priest is telling you that already, but I just wanted to kind of reinforce that a little bit and just encourage you to go in that path because it really helped me tremendously. But it sounds like you're probably doing that already, right?
Well, actually, right now I never noticed how much peace I lacked in my home when I was married. And that's one thing that my children and I notice now that we have a new place to live, that when we come home, it's just peaceful. And, we don't have to worry about, that constant, the tension that used to be in the house. It's no longer there. So it's more peaceful and, very centered on, on God in general because, we just feel closer together now that we've been through basically the trials and tribulations of a divorce.
Right.
And I'm just, if anything, I'm just really grateful that the year's coming to an end, but also it's kind of like the biggest blessing is knowing that I had a really great support system and that, the divorce wasn't the end of my life. It's actually, I feel like I did something good for myself and my children.
Right. Do you mind if we ask how old your kids are, Madeline?
My son is 13 and my daughter is 3, so there's a big age gap.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm sure they're beautiful, beautiful blessings in your life. And I would just say, as Debbie said, it's a time to really kind of, sort of close, come together as a family, and just develop that prayer life. In fact, don't have to wait till the calendar year flips. We just flipped the liturgical year. So it's, Happy New Year to all of us, in the church as well. But yeah, I was just going to encourage you, to make sure the kids, are healthy and, get surrounded by, good support, their peers, maybe get, good faith tools, and just spend a lot of time praying with them, so that you can all come together and bond as a family, and they can continue to mature and develop into the people that God wants them to be. Because, it's like you said, there's a lot more peace in your family, and that tension is gone. But there's going to be, things going on in their minds and hearts that are going to make them wonder, what happened and why it happened and so forth. And that's between you and your husband, God, and all of that. So just, wrap your arms tightly around them. And I know you love them very, very dearly. So that would be just my encouragement for you with the kids. And I know you know that already.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for getting my call. I didn't think I was going to get through this morning.
Well, we're glad you did. Thank you, Madeline.
All right. Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Okay, you too.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, B is up next in South Dakota on Sirius XM 130. Hi, B. Thank you for waiting, and welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. How was your 2018?
Hi, Jerry and Debbie. It was quite a wild year. My husband went away to basic training in January, and just a couple of days after he left, I found out I was 5 weeks pregnant. So I spent most of my pregnancy without him. And in the midst of all of that, I had a broken ankle, 2 ruptured eardrums, and several emergency room visits.
Wow.
But on October 16th, I had my baby girl. Her name is Aurora. I labored 18 hours with her, and everything had to be done manually. I was induced, and I had to have my water broken for me, and it was a really difficult time, but all in all, going through this difficult pregnancy and difficult birth, it was really worth it, and so I'm looking forward to the next year with her.
Well, what a beautiful story, and we're sorry that your husband and her father was not able to be there during the pregnancy and all of that. But you're a real trooper. It sounds like that you handle everything very, very beautifully, especially with the foot problem, and I think you said the ears or whatever, and the emergency room visits. So. It was a time of challenge for you, but also, you had that intimate time with your child in your womb. And what really struck me, B, is you said that the baby was born on October 16th. If I'm not mistaken, that's the feast of St. Gerard, as you may know. My patron saint, that's who I'm named for, Gerard. And he's the patron saint of expectant mothers. So, I mean, you can sort of, you probably knew that going, if you didn't know that was his feast day, you can kind of look back now on that and say, you know what? God gave me St. Gerard instead of my husband. Your husband was physically away, but St. Gerard spiritually was kind of like the one guiding you and accompanying you through all of that. Maybe you can look at it that way. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I actually did not know that. So that's really neat. That gives me a lot of comfort.
Cool. What do you think,
Yeah.
Deb?
Well, that's amazing. I'm glad you pointed that out for B. And I just want to say congratulations on your baby girl. What a beautiful, wonderful way to finish up 2018 with that just bundle of joy. And so you've been through a lot, B, with the emergency room visits, the broken ankle, your husband going away, but you got that baby to hold. And I just say congratulations. And it's just going to make the Christmas all the more better now that she's present. And tell me again, is her first name? Did you say Aurora?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. How is she doing? Is she okay, October 16th. So she's starting to really be aware of her surroundings, right?
Yeah, she's actually smiling a lot. She's focusing a lot more on the people that's holding her and making a lot of noises and talking to us. And so, yeah, she's getting to the point where she might be about ready to hold her bottle. So I'm excited for that, too.
And has your husband been able to come home to see the baby, or do you FaceTime or do something like that so he can be part of it?
Yep, he is home, but he might actually be deployed to the border soon, so his time with her is probably not going to be too long probably a while. So
Oh, so you're gonna enjoy every part of Christmas then. So yeah. Well, please tell your husband, prayers will be with him, and to be safe. So please let him know that.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, B, for the phone call. Take two with Jerry and Debbie.
Yep,
Mark,
thank
you're
you.
next, and Michael and Susan and Steve. A lot of you want to share what 2018 was like, what you're looking forward to. In 2019, we're talking about I can't believe the year is almost over. And Debbie, we heard from John, who was watching the program video on YouTube. John said, I almost feel bad that 2018 is almost over. I was confirmed this year, started altar serving at Latin Mass, and just started learning about the church. But there's much more to go. Also, my parents divorced earlier this year, though. So for John, there was that challenge of his parents' divorce, but also a lot of beautiful things happened in his life.
Yeah, a lot of spiritual growth. That's awesome. Way to go, John. Do we have more coming in on social media?
Yeah, actually, let's see here. Marlene on Facebook, EWTN Catholic Radio is the Facebook page. You can watch the video stream and post your comments. Marlene said, New Year's means loving God more and more and trying to grow even closer to Him. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful perspective. And one thing I love about New Year's Day on the yearly calendar, Debbie, is it's the Solemnity of Mary, Mother of God. And it's always a beautiful feast day to celebrate on January 1st.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got a lot to celebrate, a lot to, prepare for. We're in the season of Advent, so it's a perfect time for us to prepare our hearts and our minds for the great birth that has changed our lives for all of eternity. So, there's a lot to talk about. This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. When we come back, we're reflecting upon 2018, what went well for you and what didn't. Let's talk about it.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio. Thanks to the show team, Rich, Jeff, Ryan, Michael. Thank you, affiliates, for carrying the program. As Debbie mentioned again today on the program, we had a new affiliate join us this week. It is St. Gabriel Radio in Columbus and the surrounding area. Thank you so much for putting the show on the air. Thanks to all of you who listen on all the other means, Sirius XM 130, iHeart. You can listen at the EWTN app and so many other ways. We're talking today about the calendar year coming to an end as we just started Advent, and having a conversation, Deb, and hearing from a lot of people. I'm learning a lot, about how to kind of roll with life, take what it delivers to us and love the blessings, give thanks to God, really for the blessings and even sometimes for the challenges that come our way.
Absolutely. Okay, Jerry, may I just say say something for one moment? Because you know how when things are on my mind and heart, I just have to say them. Otherwise, it'll just bug me all day long.
Sure.
Okay, so we received a comment, possibly from a caller that couldn't stay on the line that had a question or clarification about what we were sharing with a previous caller, Madeline, about her divorce and what she's been through in 2018. Please let me just make it clear. Okay, I've been through a divorce. It was out of my control. I am totally against divorce. I think divorce is horrible. It's tragic. It's just really serious for the children, for the grandchildren, for the extended family. I am against it, but sometimes you find yourself in the middle of it and it's out of your control. The first thing we ask is if there is a priest that is counseling, a priest that is giving spiritual direction, if they're staying close to the church and going by what the church is suggesting for that person to move forward or that family to move forward. So please, folks, please understand that I am not advocating divorce. I don't agree with divorce. And so please, I just want you to, before you kind of think that possibly we were celebrating a divorce, we weren't. Okay, we were simply making sure that everybody stays close to the church and moves their spirituality forward. I think we can all agree on that, and we don't want people to go away from the church. We want people to dive into the church, right, Jerry?
Well, yeah, and Madeline mentioned, that there had been tension and strife in the home and so forth. I'm a child of divorce, and there was a ton of that in my family when I was growing up, and it has certainly impacted me in my life. So, that was one of the reasons I wanted to, Madeline, if you're still listening, it's one of the reasons I wanted to encourage you, not that you needed my encouragement, but just to, make sure the kids understand, how loved they are and, help make sense of everything that was going on. And really, the role of, obviously we uphold, like Debbie said, the church's teachings on marriage, the beauty of the sacrament and all of that, but life does happen the way it does sometimes, as Debbie said, and it is not, if I can put it this way, I think on this show anyway, what we try and do is take people where they are with the circumstances in their lives and in our lives, which are very, very messy as well. And we try and say, okay, Lord, enter into this situation right now as it is. Bring your healing, bring your peace. If there have been, whatever mistakes made or challenges have occurred or whatever, God can work with all of that. And we ask him to do that. And so that's really, I think, the approach that we take here. We can't.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway,
and we encourage reconciliation, and we also encourage you to stay close to the church and see what the priests feel about pursuing an annulment for whatever case. So it's case by case, and so just to let you know that we're very well aware of that, and yes, we adhere to the church's teaching strictly on that. So thank you so much again for those comments. We just love that. We just want to make sure everybody can rest in peace and feel confident that the show is going in a good direction. Mark is up next in North Dakota on Real Presence Radio. Hi, Mark. Thanks for waiting and welcome.
Hello, Jerry and Debbie. How are you?
Doing well, Mark. How are you?
How about yourself?
Good. I just wanted to say that I had last year had a real difficult time where I lost my business, and I ended up going and working in the oil field, and through that, I was able to listen to Catholic radio because I went from being running a construction company and constantly pulling out my hair to being all by myself in a truck, driving around in the middle of nowhere inspecting wells, and through that I was able to pray my rosary with Mother Angelica, and then all these little things that they're there, and it really was a huge blessing to me. My wife has said it a number of times, how I'll just know little things all the time now, just from listening to Catholic radio all day long, every day. So that was all. My main thing I was grateful for this year was just Catholic radio.
Wow.
So,
well, Mark, I can speak for probably Debbie and everybody at EWTN and the affiliates and the donors. We want to thank the donors especially and everybody who has a part in this. It takes so many people to do just even a show like what we do and everything else. And Debbie, I have said for so long, you and I have helped stations raise funds for operating expenses and helped to start stations and create shows and all of that. And I've said it many, many times. I think Catholic radio is the best thing that has happened to the church perhaps in our lifetime. And what I always mean by that, and I explain it, we have obviously EWTN television, we have print, National Catholic Register, online things and all of that. But as far as portability and accessibility, radio can go places. We can take it places with us and access it, in places, you can't be watching TV while you're driving down the road. At least you shouldn't be, or reading a publication. So as good as all those other things are, EWTN radio, I think, Debbie, is reaching people in ways that maybe some other media are not. So
absolutely,
I think radio is, and Mark is testimony to that.
Yeah. Mark, you've been through a tough year with your business and everything, but your gratitude towards Catholic radio, I mean, that's going to take you, that's going to plant those wonderful seeds for eternity. And so that's a beautiful thing. So, you had one thing that went really hard in your life and difficult, and it was probably, it really changed the direction of your life somewhat. Okay. But then now you have Catholic radio, which maybe you wouldn't have come up upon. So I think that is a beautiful thing, Mark. And I will tell you, people ask me all the time, why do you go around and really push hard for the funds for Catholic radio? And my answer has been the same. Jerry knows it for 8 years. I said, because Catholic radio works. And everybody says, what do you mean it works? Because it works in the minds and the hearts and the souls of people who listen. It has saved babies. It has saved marriages. It has reached people behind prison walls, in hospital rooms, those that are confined to their homes. I mean, John Paul II knew that we needed to use this. Mother Angelica, obviously being the great pioneer in this, and it works. And so you're just a testament of that, Mark, and I love that. I hope you can keep telling people that and make people aware that Catholic radio is a precious jewel in our midst, and we must take care of it. And so thank you for just stating it, because it gives us a chance to springboard from that and go on a little pitch here for Catholic radio. So thanks, Mark. We appreciate it.
Anything else, Mark?
Sure. And I did have one little thing, was just a little extra. Last evening I was at Mass, and at the end of Mass I turned around and I felt like God said, go walk up to that guy. So I did. There's just a guy looked down and out and tough and whatever, and I walked up to him. I didn't say anything, and he just looked up at me, and he said he poured out he's just really suffering, poured out a few of his sufferings, but he said, I've decided that I had to get back to the church because I started listening to Catholic radio, and I realized that Jesus is there, but there's just so much more for me. And it was through Catholic radio, and there he was, just trying to figure out, what am I going to do now? He wants to get his marriage right with the church and everything, and it was amazing. So, and that was just last night. That was just one example to me that happened, just yesterday. So.
Spirit's moving powerfully, and like Debbie said, Catholic radio works. Mark, thank you so much for sharing that. And just a couple things I want to mention too. Yeah, you mentioned the Mass last night. I mentioned this, I think, at the end of yesterday's show. For all of the Take Two family, I went to a healing Mass last night, and as I got prayed over, I had all of you and your intentions in my mind and my heart as well. So I'm praying for many, many blessings and miracles for all of you. Wonderful, wonderful priest, Father Pat Crowley, who said the Mass. And also, Debbie, it's just a good opportunity for us to mention, as we do wind down the year, that people are looking for places to give a few extra dollars at the end of the year. Why not consider EWTN or your local Catholic radio station? Always a worthwhile cause.
I agree. And Mark, maybe pray about it. You sound like you would be a great EWTN media missionary. You may want to think about that for the new year and possibly join the team, because it sounds like you are open to raising awareness, and that's what we need. We need more Marks out there to go and talk about how great Catholic radio is. So think about it, pray about it, and contact EWTN if maybe a media missionary is something for you to do in ministry. I love the media missionaries, Jerry. They do great work.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate your call, brother. Thank you for joining us on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie at 833-288-3986. I can't believe this year is almost over. Thumbs up for you, thumbs down, maybe one thumb, one thumb up, one thumb down on 2018. What kind of a year was it for you? You know, did you survive some serious challenges? Did God really lavish you and your loved ones with blessings? And are you looking forward to moving into the new calendar year? 833-288-3986 as we go next to Michael, also a Real Presence Radio listener in Minot, North Dakota. Hi, Michael. Looking forward to hearing what you have to share with us. Thanks for calling.
Yes, wow, hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I just want to say y'all are an inspiration to me. I really appreciate everything y'all do.
God bless you, Michael. Thank you.
So, yeah, this year, this year is it's been a tough one. Now, I want to say that I've been very blessed and fortunate in my life. I've lived a good life so far. Very fortunate. I grew up with two loving parents, and they cared so much about their kids. And but this year I've had to deal with a few things, three things in particular that I've never had to deal with before. And so the first thing was actually in January when I work on airplanes. I'm an aircraft mechanic. And so I was involved with an accident at work. And it was basically my fault. I damaged an aircraft pretty bad. And that was really tough to deal with, but I've kind of bounced back for the better, not neglecting any technical data, just following it down to a T. And then the second thing that happened a few weeks after that was my girlfriend broke up with me. I had been dating her for about a year. We had a pretty good relationship for the most part, and then some things happened at the end that had to terminate that relationship. And then the third thing, each of those events got progressively worse. Like, so the three events, the next one was worse than the previous one. I found out that my brother Joey actually, he unfortunately passed away of a heroin overdose at the age of 30. So, yeah, it's been a very rough year, and like I said, I'm very fortunate. I'm a very fortunate person. I've been very blessed my entire life, and I know I think Debbie said it earlier how 2007 was the worst year of her life, but the best year spiritually, and that's how 2018 has been for me. It's been I've called it the year of tears for me. It's been a rough one, but I'm just amazed how much support I've gotten and how much the grace of God has abounded in my life.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Debbie and I
Yeah.
are both just kind of, it's just kind of a wow sort of pause there for a moment, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Taking it
I'll,
in.
I'll share a couple thoughts here first, Michael. Thank you for being so candid, and sharing what you did. We're so sorry about the loss of your brother. And Debbie writes names down. We keep a book of people that we pray for, living and deceased. I don't know if you are comfortable.
Joey.
Oh, Joey. Oh, you
I
mentioned
put him
Joey.
in.
Okay,
I
that's
put him
right.
in already. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we will pray to Joey. My middle name is Joseph. We'll pray to Saint Joseph. Together with you, Michael. You're named after the great archangel, of course. But what I'm inspired by, Michael, is you still have that. If you can call it a glass half full perspective, and I've mentioned before, even on this show earlier today, I think, I tend to be I focus on the negative, when things go wrong, it's like, woe is me, self-pity, and some of this so often. And I'm trying to learn to change that in my life, and people like you, Michael, are helping me do that. And so, Debbie may have a couple things to share. I just also wanted to say thank you for being an aircraft mechanic, because
That's a
sometimes
tough
Debbie
job.
and I fly all the time. Everybody, a lot of people listening right now, Michael, we're on airplanes all the time, and I often think of how trusting we are. Because we place our trust, in the pilots and everybody else, and baggage handlers and all that. We sometimes don't think about people like you, Michael, who, you're really kind of, on the ground level, if I can put it that way, of making sure that we're safe. So that is a wonderful, wonderful vocation that you have. So thanks for doing that. But Debbie, I'm kind of rambling and hogging here. So go
Not
ahead.
at all. Not at all. I just wanted to say thank you, Michael, for saying about the 2007 when I shared how horrible my year was, but actually it was great for me spiritually. And that really comes from this wonderful priest that's a mentor of mine who just kept saying to me, Debbie, you're going through the worst time of your life. It's out of your control. So many things are coming at you fast and furiously, and you're either going to get very close to God, you're going to free fall into God, or you're going to get very far away. They just get further and further away. And I was frightened. I didn't want to get away from God. I wanted to get closer and closer because I didn't know what the next step was going to be. And so because of that, I grew spiritually in a very profound way. And that sounds like exactly what has happened to you this year. So I'm sorry you had to go through a really tough situation at work. It sounds like you got through it though. And then the breakup, that really hit you hard in the heart. I get it. And your brothers, the loss of your brother, I mean, no words we can never say anything that's ever going to make you feel better about that. But I'll tell you what you just stated, has to put a smile on God's face, or I should maybe I should say Jesus' face because he's God made man. But it puts a smile on his face that his son Michael is saying, I got closer to God, and that's a big thing. That's a huge thing. That's an eternal step. So I just want to say thank you. And my prayer for you is that 2019 is just filled with abundant blessings, and you continue to grow your faith life, and you let God use you in very miraculous ways. And God willing, that other person will come into your life if God chooses it for you and wants that person to journey with you. So that's going to be my prayer for you, Michael. I hope that's okay with you. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. And I really want to say thank you again for taking my call. And I am looking forward to 2019 because up here in North Dakota, it gets very cold, and I work outside. And here for a temporary job position, I'm headed over to Guam for a little bit, which is a nice tropical island out in the Pacific here in 2019. So that's something to look forward to. So yeah, again, I want to say thank you for taking my call, really.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, but we'll be praying for you, Michael, and we ask that you pray for us as well. And speaking of prayers, we got a couple emails that we're going to get to in a minute. I just want to mention before that it is that time of year, folks. Mm-hmm. If you turn your TV on for more than 60 seconds, you're gonna see at least one, Christmas commercial. Everybody's buying new cars for Christmas. Don't we all do that? Tongue in cheek,
Not
of course,
me.
but I know, tongue in cheek. But listen, it is that time of year. We want to be faith filled and spiritual and keep our focus on Christ. And, to that extent, gifts are not only secondary, they really could be almost dispensed with. But we want to give gifts to people. It's what we do at Christmas. So think about giving gifts of faith, all right? There's something new from EWTN Publishing. It's just in time for Christmas. It's Reflections with Father Leo Clifford. It's a spiritual manual for living a Catholic life. And Father Leo gives you practical ways to use God's graces profitably and intelligently, and helps you deal with many of the obligations and problems that arise as you grow spiritually. I mean, this fits perfectly with many of the calls we've had today, Debbie. So again, it's Reflections with Father Leo Clifford. Consider getting that for yourself or someone who may have gone through some bumps in the road or just may need a little boost in their spiritual life. It's available now at EWTNRC.com, Debbie, along with, you name it, they've got it for Christmas gifts, right?
Yep. The QVC of the Catholic world. I love it. Okay, listening on Sirius XM 130 is Susan in Annapolis, Maryland. Susan, thank you so much for waiting. You, I believe, yes, you got it. You got our virtual patience. I can't even say it. Virtual Patience Award today, Susan. It's all yours. Congratulations.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Very well.
Okay, great. I wasn't sure. I've just been listening on my phone. I'm reiterating a lot of the things that other callers have said. I mean, I've learned this year that my mess is my message. And, while I'm going through crisis, I don't probably sound this joyful, but 2018, I'm learning, has brought me to exactly where I'm supposed to be. And so I've had a child in and out with addiction, many hospital stays, car accidents, emergency rooms, failed rehab. But I cannot even begin to tell you the beauty that's come out of it. You have to walk with God so closely because your life is depending on it. And so you grow this beautiful way that you're just breathing in Christ constantly. And I'm tuning into EWTN, and I'm in the Word every day. And there's been people that God has placed in my life. So there's been such enormous beauty of walking so closely with God and changing my own life, because that's where I would find my strength, of letting God work within me to become strong. And my mindset has changed. It's funny, you said, what are you looking forward in 2019? And I mean, overall, I've got some great things. I've got a child getting married, another grandchild. But I'm thankful for today, and I'm going to take today.
Yeah.
And my child's alive today.
Praise
and there's
God.
so many blessings in my life. And when I'm following Christ, he's asked me to take the whole, shebang. And that's the cross as well. And so life is good. Another thing, too, listening to you, the hugest miracle I had this year was really learning to decipher and discern what's coming in from God and what's coming in from the enemy. And knowing that it's just going to that Philippians, capturing those thoughts and giving them to God, because backtracking, what if, fears, they don't serve God.
Right.
It's not from God. God wants to stay here right now. So sorry, I could be on the soapbox all day.
No, Susan, you nailed it. You have done so great. I'm so glad you waited and you got that patience award, because this was great that you got on the air. I think what you have to say is for all of us to sit up straight and listen, because very important. We can get through the crisis, we can get through the storm, we can get through the challenges if we have God, if we have Christ, if we're holding on tightly, if we're trusting. And it's amazing. And we learn so much about ourselves, and other people come into our path, just like you said. So praise be to God. You didn't have to give us your child's name. I just added Susan's child to the book, just so that you said that you said your child's doing good. We're going to keep praying for that and for your entire family. And God bless you. You're a beautiful soul. And I'm so happy that you came on to Take Two today.
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm just so, I just want to shout from the rafters sometimes.
Well, you shout, Susan, and we will shout along with you. We rejoice with you in the blessings you've had, and we're with you in prayer and support in the challenges as well. We ask you to pray for us and all of the Take Two family as well. Thanks for calling. We're going to wrap things up today with Nate, who's calling in Texas, listening on the EWTN app. Nate, we've got 90 seconds for you, brother, but welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Okay, I'll make it quick. Jerry and Debbie, I love your show. Thank you for taking my call. This past year, I started a new job last October. Every day has been stressful. Every single day has been tough. I listen to EWTN radio and constantly ask St. Joseph the Worker to pray for me in my job. Basically, I have a month left on my quality for my job, or else I can lose it. So this is my last month. If I don't get it right, I could lose my job. So I pray every day to Joseph the Worker. And please, Take Two family. I need my job for my kids. So I'm making it happen, but I've stayed in prayer, and work has been better. So praise God.
Oh, praise God indeed, Nate. And you can't pick a better saint for that. Obviously, St. Joseph, made his living with the work of, the sweat of his brow and working with his hands. And we have that feast of St. Joseph the Worker. What is it, May 1st, I believe? St. Joseph doesn't have as many feast days as Our Lady and, of course, of Christ, but he's often the silent one, but he's the strong one. He's very, very strong.
Yep.
and so powerful, Nate. So, and like I said, my middle name is Joseph, so I pray to him all the time. He is going to be with you, Nate, and this is going to come out, I think, think, very, very beautifully for him, Deb.
Be assured of our prayers, Nate, and just a little bit of advice on the prayer front. Thank Saint Joseph in advance. Okay, the more you trust, the more that your prayers are answered in a really a big way, a powerful way. So give over that show that trust, Nate, and stay away from fear. You said you got to keep your job. Okay, let's remove the fear and totally trust. Everybody pray, please, for Nate, that he can just shine at work and flourish in his job and do well, and the stress diminishes and actually gets out of the way so you can have a productive day, Nate. That's what we're going to be praying for you. So rest assured and have that trust. It's very important.
Thank you, Nate, and all the other social media posts. Thank you all. Lisa and Kim, we got your emails. We'll reply via email. Anyone can contact us, take2@EWTN.com. I wish we had time for your comments on the air. Debbie's going to be solo tomorrow. Many of you know I'm in the pipeline in training for be a volunteer chaplain's assistant at a local hospital. So tomorrow they've scheduled me to shadow one of the volunteers, and it happens right at the time of our show. So I have no choice but to do that. But I'm looking forward to that. Keep me in your prayers for that if you would, and pray for the patients as well.
We will, and tomorrow's about corporal works of mercy, so please join me tomorrow. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed day.